Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of CWN Weekly, episode number 41, coming to you live from London, if I can talk, from London, Ontario, Canada, the joys of doing a live podcast. But it's not too bad here today. It is been one heck of a week as far as the weather goes. I tell you that much. It's like you have 30, 35 degree weather. I mean, last Monday I got sunburn on Victoria Day here in Canada, out with the family at the beach. And then, I think it was yesterday, I think we had like a high of 8 or 9 degrees. Today's about 15, but it's weird weather going on, which kind of makes me excited and nervous all at the same time as far as the summertime goes and the summer weather and stuff like that goes. But as always, if you're listening, thank you very much. If you're watching, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comments, whatever you want. And like I said, episode number 41. And the night before, the day before, so to speak, AEW pay-per-view tomorrow, Double or Nothing, which I'll get into at the very end of the show here. But as I do every single week, anniversaries and birthdays. So today, Steve Corino, born in 1973, which would make him 3 years older than me. So 48th birthday, if my math is correct. Normally, I have the how old they are at the side, but for whatever reason, I left him out. But Steve Corino is 48 years old today. Happy birthday to him. If you go to CWNonline.ca, you can check out the interview I did with him way back in 2006. And nervous as all heck, one-on-one interview with him over the phone at that time. This video thing really didn't work unless you're like a new, a TV station. But check that out. CWNonline.ca. Look for the interview section. Look for the king of old school, Steve Corino, the interview I had done with him. But yeah, happy 48th birthday to the one and only king of old school, Steve Corino, NXT talent behind the scenes now. So guys, check him out on CWNonline.ca though. Today as well, the one and only walking weapon, X Division champion for Impact Wrestling, Josh Alexander, born 1987, 34 years old today. Happy birthday to the one and only walking weapon, Josh Alexander. 31st, a couple days from now, Vampiro, born 1967. Everybody should know him the most from WCW, World Championship Wrestling back in the day, but he is Canadian and 54 years old for him on today being Saturday, on Monday. So like I said, happy 54th birthday to Vampiro. On the 1st of June, which is the Tuesday, Alicia, I don't know why I had a hard time pronouncing her name. Alicia Atout, I think it's how you pronounce her last name, Atout. 1995, she was born, 26 years old, backstage interviewer there for MLW, Major League Wrestling. But she is 26, and I've had the honor of meeting her a few times at independent shows, and she with Ambi, a music blog, I think is the official term of it, has done well for herself. And, the sky is the limit for Alicia. And then on the 2nd, the day after, I got to do a shout out to AJ Styles because he shares this birthday with the one and only me. That's right, guys. June 2nd, 1976, I was born. So I'll be 45 years old on Wednesday. And, I don't feel it personality wise. I tell you this, physically, some days I feel like I'm 80, but I shouldn't say that because there's a lot of people out there 80 years old that could still kick my butt, cardio-wise, whatever the case may be. But one of my goals, I'll tell you this on the show, is to lose weight, and I'm not doing too bad. It's sometimes I have unhealthy habits on the weekend, but for the most part, I eat pretty clean during the week. And my wife, my loving wife, tries to keep and stay on top of that as well. But like I said, 45 years old on Wednesday for me, and not sure exactly what I'm doing yet, or if I'll be doing a show, episode number 42, maybe. We'll wait and see. My wife's a teacher, so she's preoccupied. My daughter's in daycare, so my other 2 daughters are in school as well, so I'll have to wait and see. But we'll leave it at that. But guys, news of the week is Kazuchika Okada reveals he tested positive for COVID-19. That was released on the 24th, so courtesy of postwrestling.com. While New Japan Wrestling has not identified the names of any recent positive COVID-19 cases, Kazuchika Okada has confirmed he was one of them. Former IWGP heavyweight champion spoke to Radio Asha Bering, confirming that he had tested positive for the virus, with the news picked up by Tokyo Sports. Earlier this month, Okada was scheduled to wrestle on the second night of Wrestling Dantaku, and a multi-man tag, which was pulled from the card in Fukuoka. Days later, New Japan revealed a total of 9 positive cases among members of the roster. So that, big news there. Followed up by this here. El Desperado reveals he had contracted COVID-19, courtesy of Post Wrestling as well. And this was released on the 25th, but New Japan Pro Wrestling resumed live shows on May 22nd, taking a hiatus for several weeks because of the rise of COVID-19 cases in areas of Japan. Over the past several days, the likes of Kazuchika Okada, Taichi have publicly revealed they've contracted the virus. And then it says the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion El Desperado took to Twitter and revealed he had contacted coronavirus as well. Desperado listed off symptoms he is dealing with, such as 39 degrees Celsius fever, back pain, incredible levels of malaise, dizziness, decline in cardio, as well as coughing and a strange taste of drinks. So that right there, 3 guys, including Taichi, unfortunately, I contracted COVID-19. But best of wishes and well wishes to all 3 of those guys, as well as the other 6 who had been dealing with COVID-19. I tell you this personally, I've been vaccinated, 1 shot already, the second one coming up in August. But back in, I believe, March or April of last year, my wife and I both had COVID-19. It was, fairly new across the news. We were still learning about it. But the biggest symptom to me, anyways, with regards to COVID-19, when I had it, was the extreme loss of energy. I remember one time I was sitting there and having supper with my wife and my toddler, and I basically had 2 bites, and I just didn't have the energy just to be able to eat as well as taste. And I'll never forget, and it kind of relates to MMA, but I was drinking, I think myself or my wife had gotten, to buy the first bottle I ever had of Conor McGregor's whiskey, so Proper 12. And I remember being excited to try it. And when I had it, and I took a shot, originally, just to, just taste it on its own. And when I had it, I was like, this, even for whiskey, it kind of tastes a little bit different. And so anyways, it went from there, and I kind of lost my sense of taste for a good probably week and a half. My wife, when she went through it, she ended up losing her sense of smell, and then, like I said, the fatigue, loss of energy, everything else. It was tough. But again, back then it was new. We didn't know as much about it as we do now. But it's and for these wrestlers, the New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers, it's going to be even tougher, because the fact is, it's that's their life in the ring, everything else. So even when they're fully healed and better, fact is, it's still going to be tough, because of the fact that they got to get back into the ring, they got to increase their strength. When thinking about it this way, Drew McIntyre, when he went through it, he lost muscle mass, and he was WWE champion, I think, at that point. So anyways, best of health to the New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers in their quick and speedy recovery. And a huge fan of Okada, and I have been for a while. So it's getting towards the end of it, hopefully, at least here in the province of Ontario. We're waiting to see. Next week's going to be a big week for us. June 14th is going to be a big week for us as far as Ontario goes as well. But patience and perseverance, I tell you that much there. And guys, if I sound a little bit different, it's because obviously the setting has changed as far as me recording the podcast goes. No longer do I have this openness in front of me. I've got my laptop and then a wall, so my voice, it's kind of throwing me off in the headset, because the acoustics are a little bit different. But I'll get through it. And last week was the first time I did this episode. So not this episode, but the show in this setting here. And, it came out, and I listened to it on audio and as well as the video, and it came out fine. So I know it's going fine, but my headset's kind of being thrown off a little bit. But I'm done rambling. Normally I say that till the end of the show. Next, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair set for collision at WWE Hell in a Cell. That was released on the 24th as well. So that is official. I didn't catch all of Raw, and I haven't honestly read that article. I just saw the obviously the the preview pick, but I don't know if it's in a Hell in a Cell, and I don't think I have it in front of me, but I'll make sure to talk about that next week. El Desperado reveals with regards to COVID, talked about that. This was big, and I gotta say this, I was never a big fan of him. I gave him a chance, and the fact is, he even watching the little bit of Raw that I did last Monday, fact is, when it comes down to it, he didn't get any better. Even last night on SmackDown, right before the show here in Canada, it airs on Sportsnet 360, and we get This Week in WWE before it, so they always, they show the clips of Raw and SmackDown highlighting the weeks before, as well as previewing the week of, so SmackDown last night. But Adnan Virk is parts ways with the WWE. And short and simple on WWE.com, WWE and Adnan Virk have mutually agreed to part ways. WWE thanks Adnan for his work. I think when I read this today on comicbook.com, I think it was, he had only done 6 episodes in total. But the first episode that he had done, Trainwreck, in my honest opinion, Corey Graves, as well as Byron Saxton, they basically took over the show and had to. Week 2, he was a little bit better. But then, like I said, last night, right before SmackDown, listening to a small little clip of him trying to get excited about the WWE, 6 weeks later, so to speak, 5 or 6 weeks later, whatever the case may be. Fact is, I'm not a fan of him. And if you are telling a story, imagine back in the day, him commentating on Stone Cold Steve Austin matches, The Rock matches, feuds like that, it would have sucked. But instead, you had Jerry the King Lawler, you had, Jim Ross, obviously, and Paul Heyman was part of that as well. And so it's I got nothing against the guy personally, because I don't know him. I know he's got a family. I know the backstory with ESPN. But the fact is, as far as WWE wrestling went, he sucked. So I'm not going to say I'm going to be sorry that he's not there this coming Monday. So I'll tell you that. ROH reveals 2021 Survival of the Fittest tournament bracket. So I've got this here. I think it was part of Kevin X. I'm just looking for it here. I think it was part of Kevin X. He does a weekly thing for ROHWrestling.com. But as far as the brackets go, a little bit sniffly here, guys. So I apologize for the sniffles. But Ring of Honor unveiled the bracket for the tournament on their week-by-week YouTube series. So it wasn't the website; it was the YouTube series. On the left-hand side of the bracket are the following matchups: so Ray Horse taking on Flamita, Eli Isom taking on Dak Draper, Bandito taking on Bateman. And the right side of the bracket is hosting the following matches: Brian Johnson taking on Sledge, Chris Dickinson taking on O'Shea Edwards, and Danhausen taking on Rhett Titus. And it says the winner of the tournament will have secured themselves a shot at the ROH World Championship, which is currently in Rush's possession. I just love saying Rush. But looking at it here, if I were to say early prediction, becoming a huge fan of Chris Dickinson. I think it'd be cool if they put Danhausen in there, but I mean, it'd be a gimmick match for sure. Bateman for sure has got a huge chance at this. I got to go Dickinson. With everything he's doing with New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm going to say Dickinson. I got to say, him versus Rush would be interesting as far as ROH goes. But guys, look for that tournament to be happening, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. Report: WWE makes cuts across several departments. That was on the 25th as well. So obviously, I talked with regards to Adnan Virk, and then it was it's an interesting article here because postwrestling.com. And if you've listened to the show before, the fact is I always like to take articles from postwrestling.com as well as slamwrestling.net, Canadian content, obviously. But this came out on the 25th as well. Multiple cuts made across several departments under the WB umbrella. Fightful's SRS, so Sean Ross Sapp and PW Insider both confirmed the cuts were made to WWE's digital production and WB network divisions. Sapp noted that WB's advanced media group is merging into the TV department, and individuals who worked on WB's YouTube channel and their official website were laid off, and they go on to mention some names. Interesting thing about this is Post actually posted with regards to comments from Twitter with regards to some of the people, as well as a statement by Kathy Kelly, who formerly was with WB, obviously. And she goes to say, "My brain can't comprehend and my heart is effing breaking for all my friends, along with being great humans. Everyone behind the scenes at WB Digital worked their asses off to build a huge money-making brand and don't get near the credit they deserve." Mick Foley has talked about the production staff. Ultimate Warrior obviously talked about the production staff, and Kathy Kelly obviously PO'd with regards to it, and for the deals that they made with regards to Fox and NBC Universal, to continuously be making cuts. And obviously Slammiversary is coming up, and we know the backstory behind their marketing with regards to Impact Wrestling. But the fact is, I mean, it's people losing their jobs, and the pandemic is still going on. I mean, it's seemingly the tail end of it, but it's still going on, and people losing their jobs. And it's I mean, obviously buyouts, or maybe they'll get payouts or whatever the case may be, but they're still losing their jobs. It's you get a feel for them, and Kathy Kelly had probably put it best there. But WB continuously laying people off. So from there, we go into WB NXT results. So guys, if I don't talk about highlights, I'm going to try to bring it up in the news portion here, especially if it's relevant. So WB NXT results, May 25th, Karrion Kross stands tall after epic battle against Finn Balor. So that was Finn Balor, Karrion Kross part 2. Finn Balor loses to Kross once again, so Kross is the NXT champion still. From there, we go into Kyle O'Reilly, Johnny Gargano, and Pete Dunne to tangle for NXT title opportunity. That is, I believe, this coming Tuesday on NXT. But KO, so there's so many KOs out there: Kenny Omega, Kevin Owens, Kyle O'Reilly. But KOR Combat, Johnny Gargano and Pete Dunne in a triple threat match decide who goes up against Karrion Kross. I love Kyle O'Reilly. Big fan of his, but fact is, I don't like the cool Kyle gimmick. Pete Dunne versus Karrion Kross, man, that'd be interesting there. And then Johnny Wrestling taking on Karrion Kross. I can't see Johnny Gargano going up against Karrion Kross with regards to his gimmick with the way, especially losing the North American Championship. Now all of a sudden you're going to put the NXT Championship on him. So forget about it. So I'm going to say, if I have to pick who I want to see against Karrion Kross for that title, I got to see Pete Dunne. It'd be interesting, and especially considering the fact that Walter's still out there as well. I got to say Pete Dunne, so that's my pick there. From there, Frankie Monet sent a message to the WB locker room. That was a WB Network exclusive, May 25th on YouTube. So guys, check that out. I believe it's up on CWNonline.ca. It's been a busy week, understatement at the best, but it's been a busy week. So I'm still adding stuff to the website there, but it's, again, timing thing, right? It's having a full-time job, being a husband, being a parent, and still loving this wrestling thing. But I believe it's up there. So Frankie Monet, check it out there. NXT TakeOver In Your House comes your way Sunday, June 13th. So new promo for them on YouTube. So guys, check that out. But that'll be the next one for NXT June 13th. ROH TV recap: Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus retain World Tag Team belts against OGK. Matt Taven attacked backstage before the match. Normally I try to catch ROH when I can, and it was actually on. I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch ROH. My wife was busy doing watching something else, and it's weird. We've been married. We've been together for going on 7 years. But we've been married going on 4 years. And it's sometimes interesting because we don't have a lot of similar tastes when it comes to TV. So tendency is we will be watching TV in separate rooms. And, she watches a lot of stuff on, say, Netflix as well as we got HBO and Amazon Prime. And there's one I'm forgetting. I can't even think of it right now. Crave, maybe, I don't know, but she's got all her shows that she watches on a regular basis, and then we get the PVR as well, so she will catch up on that when she can. So that is my wrestling MMA sports time, which I don't mind actually, but anyways, Tuesday I was like, you know what, I'm going to watch ROH. So I did, and it was actually pretty good. And then, but Vincent at the very end was revealed that he was the one who looked like he attacked Matt Taven. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this, because obviously the Kingdom, I mean, the way they separate it, and obviously Mike Bennett being back, it'll be interesting. But so Tracy Williams, Rhett Titus retained against, like I said, the OGK, and then Taven appears to be attacked by Vincent there. So have to wait and see. WB's The Bump this week. Rey and Dominic Mysterio reflect on historic championship win. So guys, check that out. That's up on CWNonline.ca as well as YouTube. WB ratings: Raw draws lowest numbers of 2021. You got to wonder if Vince McMahon is, and I shouldn't be laughing about that, but it is what it is. But where are we here? Man, I thought I had that. Oh, yeah, there we go. Like I said, guys, I always go and look for the icons, and sometimes I look and I'm like, oh, wait a second, why is there an icon there and not? Anyway, I'm rambling again. It's Saturday afternoon rambling with Chris Maloney. I don't know. Raw on Monday night averaged 1.62 million viewers and did a 0.45 rating in the 18 to 49, among the lowest numbers in show history in each category. Numbers were down due to NBA playoffs. 18 to 49 number was the second lowest in the history of the show, with only a 0.41 for December 14th, 2020 show being lower. And then it says the viewers were down 10.9% from last week, and 18 to 49 was down 6.3%. Hours were this 1.66 for 8 o'clock, 1.67 for 9, and then the dip at 10 p.m. to 1.54. And the big thing is, as well, as everybody's always talking, well, hey, why not just do 2 hours of Raw? Well, they signed a contract with the USA Network to give them 3 hours of Raw every single Monday. So that's the gist of it there. But it's interesting as far as the ratings go. You'll probably see me the next couple of weeks at least put it into the news portion of the show. Simply put, because of the fact Showbuzz Daily is continuously down. They even posted on Twitter that they have no idea what's going on at the website. There's a backstory there that's not being revealed, but yeah, everybody is getting their ratings news right now from different sources, namely PW Torch. Yeah, so if I'm not talking about certain ratings, it means I don't have them, and it means the other websites aren't releasing them as well. So I'll leave that at that. Jimmy Smith joins WWE Monday Night Raw. So interesting that the ratings are down the lowest. We got a new Monday Night Raw announcer coming in. Sorry, a little bit of a hiccup. It's Adnan Virk's on his way out. And we've got, there's a little bit more news. I'll talk about it as well. But I'm just going to bring up the article here, courtesy at WWE.com. And I'm in the wrong folder here. And where are we? There we go. So, like I said, Jimmy Smith joins WWE Monday Night Raw. This is May 26th. WWE Today announced that Jimmy Smith will debut as the play-by-play voice for Monday Night Raw starting this Monday, May 31st at 8. You know the times. Recently, Smith served as an analyst for NXT, where he hosted NXT TakeOver pre-show panels and worked on special projects for the Black and Gold brand. He's also daily host of SiriusXM's Unlocking the Cage and was the host of America Ninja Warrior on G4. So it says he'll be beside Corey Graves as well as Byron Saxton. So it'll be interesting. Another new voice for WWE Monday Night Raw, and we'll have to see if he's better than Adnan. Hopefully, I mean, there's not a lot of people that could be worse than Adnan, and I'm knocking on wood. Basically, anyways, it is what it is. It's gonna be my favorite, my new favorite line. I used to say and all that jazz, but now I think it is what it is. Next is WB announced his 3 dates on 25 City Summer Tour. This was the 26th as well. So WB today announced the next 3 live events as far as its 25 City touring schedule this summer. Tour now includes SmackDown in Cleveland. We got Raw taking place in Kansas City, as well as SmackDown taking place in Minneapolis. So July 23rd, 26th, and 30th for those shows there. And it says tickets go on sale Friday, June 4th at 10 a.m. So it is interesting to hear about tickets going on sale. And then I'll get into AEW from last night, but that's what I mean. It's like, here in Ontario, Canada, obviously, it's because there is an Ontario, California, but here in Ontario, Canada, it's really interesting because of the fact of what we're going through compared to the rest of the world. And, and then even the provinces up here in Canada, it's every one of them is different. And it's when you watch TV and when you watch live sporting events, everything else, and you hear about touring schedules and as well as concerts and stuff like that, it makes you think it's the tail end of this, but it's still hard to say up here in Ontario because the fact is that we're still going through it like it was, it's like it's basically May of 2020 and not May of 2021. So anyways, that being said, next one, Natalya Neidhart, Hitman Heart and Soul explored a new documentary. So that is coming up. I believe it's next week. With regards to biography on Bret Hart. I know tomorrow is Mick Foley, so I think Bret Hart might be the only one left. I don't think there's anybody else, but that'll be interesting. I'm a huge fan of Bret Hart, a huge fan of, a little bit of bias there as well. But Natalya's column this week's all about that new documentary, that biography piece on Bret. NWA Women's Championship match announced for the buy-in. So that was announced on the 26th. So I'm just going to find the article here. And I don't have anything in order, but I'm not doing too bad here. So AEW has announced that the NWA Women's Championship will be defended this Sunday on the buy-in portion of Double or Nothing. Current champion Serena Deeb will defend the championship against former AEW Women's Champion Riho, with the buy-in airing free at 7:30 p.m. Eastern prior to Double or Nothing pay-per-view at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. So there you go, guys. And I will get more into that at the very end of the show as well. Maserati. And I don't think I've ever seen her wrestle yet, but I've got to do some catching up. I took on Angelina Love on Women's Division Wednesday this past Wednesday. So, guys, check that out on YouTube. MLW Underground took place on Wednesday as well, episode number 24, featuring Samoa Joe taking on Mike Awesome in the main event there. So that's pretty cool. AEW Unrestricted, Tony Khan previews Double or Nothing 2021. So that came out on the 27th, as well as news, Women's Casino Battle Royal to take place at AEW All Out 2021. So that is absolutely phenomenal there that they have a women's battle royal taking place. AEW media briefing with Cody Rhodes. I am proud to say this, guys. So I am on the media list, not me personally. Well, I guess me personally, yes. But CWNonline.ca is on the media list for AEW. So I get all their emails. I got invited to the press release. I had my wife watch it for me, so to speak. And then the audio file came to me later on. When was it? I guess Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday night. Because I was at work. So I got to listen to it this morning. Great interview with Cody. Lots of questions coming in. George Mackay, you suck. He actually got his question in. I had a question I wrote in as well, but didn't get answered. So, but it pertains to 2022. So it wasn't necessarily relevant to what's taking place in May of 2021. But George Mackay got his question in, so good for him. But yeah, it is cool. It's interesting to hopefully next time when I get invited, I'll be able to sit there and listen to it and be part of it and be on standby, so to speak. And they do it formally, like when you listen to the audio clip. They announce who's next. Okay, we're going to do a write-in question. Who's next? And this and that. But it is cool to be part of that, And obviously, you can tell the excitement in my voice. But yeah, you can go on to CWNonline.ca and listen and download the audio clip courtesy of me, courtesy of CWN. So it's not through a third-party website, but it is the clip I was sent from AEW. So pretty damn cool there. So, but a lot of questions that came up. AEW Rampage was one of them. The tension, so to speak, the rumored tension between the EVPs. And a lot more. So, like I said, AEW media briefing with Cody Rhodes, from the 27th. You check that out, CWNonline.ca. Report, big news as well. This came out on Thursday. WB releases Tom Phillips. It's like, holy crap, guys. You've got all these promotions out there. You've got it being 2021, COVID still exists, and the forbidden door has been kicked open, and report WWE releases Tom Phillips. I've always been a fan of this guy. I like his voice. Former WB Raw commentator Adnan Virk began his stint with WB following WrestleMania 37. He and the company have mutually agreed to part ways, as I mentioned earlier, and a formal announcement was made on the 25th. Prior to Virk, it was Tom Phillips at the Raw commentary desk alongside Byron Saxton and the now released Samoa Joe. According to a report from Fightful, Tom Phillips has been released from WWE. And it says the site added that Phillips' release was part of a string of cuts across several departments. We talked about Advanced Media Group merging with the TV department, but it says Phillips was most recently on Raw as commentator for SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, and 205 Live throughout his tenure in WWE. And I believe they said he was there for 10 years, if I'm correct about that. But man, to me, that is huge because he's gifted with what he does. He's got a great voice. He's got personality. You get invested in the product because of listening to him, call the action, so to speak. I've always been a big fan of his, but it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. 90-day non-compete's probably in there for sure. But that... Let me see if you do the 90 days. No, it's actually, hold on. Nope, not even close. That puts them probably August, early September, I guess. But anyways, nothing but good things about Tom Phillips. I'm sure he's going to end up someplace huge if he wants to continue with wrestling. But yeah, he's one of those guys. And Justin Roberts was another one of those guys. Is like, how dare WB ever release these guys? From there, we get into Impact Wrestling. Josh Alexander to defend X Division Championship against TJP in 60-minute Iron Man match that takes place, I believe. No, excuse me, hiccup again, on BTI of next week. Just give me a sec here. It's funny how it's, like I said, I've got no order at all with regards to these articles this week. And fact is, when it comes down to it, I'm finding some of them just like that. Others I can't, but it's Impact Wrestling does not have the favicon. So Josh Alexander defend X Division Championship against TJP in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Following TJP's pinfall victory over X Division champion Josh Alexander on Impact, the two rivals will settle the score once and for all when they compete in the first ever 60-minute Iron Man match for the X Division Championship. And that is taking place on BTI. This is breaking. This is courtesy of Twitter. Walking Weapon will defend the X Division Championship against Mega TJP. First ever 60-minute Iron Man match in Impact history next week. Majority of the match will take place on BTI, with the match concluding at the start of Impact. That I didn't know. I thought it was all on BTI. I was like, how are they going to do a 60-man Iron Man match when on YouTube it's only 45 minutes long? But obviously they'll probably announce, do the announcements of the show, preview it, and then probably, I guess, at maybe 7:15-ish. Probably go into the match, and then, like I said, through the article there, carries on to the show itself. So that's going to be interesting on Thursday. I don't know what I'm working on Thursday, but definitely going to watch that match. A big fan of both of those guys, and so it's going to be interesting Thursday there. Speaking of Thursdays, Winnipeggers, episode number 45, announced. The title of it, cable access television. So I haven't seen that yet, but I'm curious to see what that means. MLW news: Alex Kane signs with MLW. That was released on the 28th. SummerSlam set for Saturday, August 21st. That is interesting. I don't think in the history of SummerSlam it's ever taken place on a Saturday. So I'm going to bring up the article here, and the list. I don't think it was all with it. But there is a ton of dates with regards to this article. It's not up on CWNonline.ca yet, but it will be. But it's got a picture of Bobby Lashley with the title, Roman Reigns in the middle with the title, and then Bianca Belair with the title. But WB today announced, and this was back on the 28th, that SummerSlam 2021 will take place on Saturday, August 21st from a summer destination location. Venue will be revealed during the 2021 Belmont Stakes pre-race show on NBC next Saturday, June 5th, so a week from today. Tickets for SummerSlam go on sale Friday, June 18th. The event will stream live exclusively on Peacock in the United States and on WB Network everywhere else. And this is also announced as next 21 live events. And this, I didn't know if they were, if the original article, because I only seen it, I think, yesterday, but if the original article had showed all these dates here, but they're talking about the super shows again. But guys, if you're in one of these cities, you get to see your wrestling again. And this also makes me think that maybe possibly we're at the tail end of COVID-19, which would be great. 2021, and we're talking about COVID-19. But anyways, I'm not going to announce all the dates. We'll announce the cities, but Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Louisville, Kentucky, Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago, Tampa, Fort Myers, Gainesville, Florida, Orlando, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Charlotte, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, San Antonio. We got SummerSlam undisclosed, but take this into account. So Friday, August 20th is a SmackDown taking place in Phoenix. SummerSlam, August 21st is no location announced. And then August 22nd, Super Show taking place Denver, followed by San Diego, Little Rock, Arkansas. We got Oklahoma City. We got Jacksonville, Florida. And then Monday, September 6th, Raw in Miami. I'm going to say this, and I've heard this rumored, not officially, but I've heard the rumor. I'm going to say SummerSlam takes place in Vegas. Vegas has got that beautiful new arena that's down there. Knowing that they're in Phoenix the night before and Denver the day after, followed by San Diego, they're kind of going back and forth. But I'm going to say, because they're in Phoenix on Friday, I'm going to say Vegas is officially going to be announced for SummerSlam 2021 next Saturday. So that is my pick there. Hellwig's journey to becoming warrior is indeed dark. Slam Wrestling article that was from the 28th as well. I tell you this, I went looking for it on Thursday and I did not see it on Crave. I don't know what the heck happened, but normally on Crave, you wait about 5-10 minutes after the show starts airing in the States. Crave doesn't play it on their channels up here in Canada, at least in Ontario. But the fact is, it shows up on demand, so I can watch it commercial free, which is great. But fact is, on Thursday, I could not find it. It might be on there now. I haven't looked since. But Thursday, I could not find the one about the Ultimate Warrior there. It's considered to be almost like the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior kind of takes that dark turn going that way. But again, I haven't seen it yet. I went looking for it on Thursday, end up watching the Friends reunion with my wife. So there, it's interesting. I was talking about, not necessarily having TV taste, not necessarily liking the same stuff my wife does as far as TV goes. And here I am announcing on the show that I end up watching the Friends reunion with her on Thursday because I couldn't find the Warrior doc. But I'm going to have to go out of my way to watch it. But Slam Wrestling has a good review with regards to it there. Articles out there with regards to AEW Double or Nothing coming up tomorrow. Press all over the place for AEW. So Kenny Omega has his sights set on another title as prepares to defend his AEW, dear God, if I can talk, AEW belt. That's on SI.com. So that came out yesterday. We got AEW's Ethan Page by 98 Online. That came out yesterday as well. That's a live audio interview on SoundCloud. Sean Spears says the plan for Stadium Stampede is brutality. Promises a match vastly different than the original, and that's courtesy of WrestleZone on the 28th. Tony, this was enjoyable. Tony, so the big news of the week, unconfirmed by WWE or New Japan, was the fact is it's apparently there's rumors of a WWE New Japan partnership, so they're trying to do their own Forbidden Door thing. The problem with that is with regards to Impact Wrestling and ROH Wrestling and AEW Wrestling and the NWA being part of that as well. Now the WWE is trying to get their hands on New Japan talent. Now, the interesting thing, it obviously pissed off Tony Khan because the promo that he did yesterday with regards to Tony Schiavone talking about, the possible partnerships, and he name drops WWE and he name drops New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he puts over his own product and all the New Japan guys we've seen for AEW, but he looked like he was PO'd, and it was great to see, and he was doing it in the same Tony Khan character that he used to do as part of the Impact Wrestling, those little clips you'd see on Impact Wrestling with Schiavone as well. I don't know if it's on YouTube yet, but it is on Twitter. So guys, go out of your way to find it. But it's the other side, so to speak, of Tony Khan, which is just comical. But you can tell, I think, legitimately, he's probably PO'd because he's like, we've been working with these guys. Now all of a sudden, WB wants part of it, and it's like. Remains to be seen, and it is what it is. I think I've said that a few times this show. Fozzie's latest song now available for streaming. You can check that out. webisjericho.com. Twitch bans Paige from streaming. That's something else I did have a chance to watch recently. Was that movie, the one that The Rock, was behind. I forget the name. Why do I forget the name of it right now? I'm getting old. I told you. it's the only thing I can explain to myself is I'm getting old and I'm forgetting things. But I'm going to bring up the article here if I can find it. And guys, I promise next show I will make sure that I'm a little more organized as far as the article goes. But Twitch bans Paige from streaming. Like I said, courtesy of webisjericho.com. As Paige can no longer wrestle, she now focuses on much of her time streaming on Twitch, which speculates she makes around $45,000 a month. Although it should be noted, due to WB's policy with working with third parties, some of the money may go against her downside guarantee. Regardless of the specifics, she is doing well and incredibly popular on the platform. However, as of this writing, she is currently banned from streaming due to airing copyrighted material. Her channel currently reads, sorry, unless you've got a time machine, that content is unavailable. With the reason being, she broke the company's policy by hosting a watch-along of Jim Carrey comedy classic Dumb and Dumber. Twitch takes copyright infringement seriously and took her channel offline midway through the film. Wow, midway through the film. I didn't read that part there. It'd be interesting if, it's Fighting with My Family. Okay, that's the name of the movie I just remembered. So I'm now a little bit younger. But it'd be interesting to see if she tried to stream that and if Twitch would have done the same thing. But I've heard some bad stories with regards to Twitch which I'm broadcasting on right now with regards to the copyright, but they've got to do what's right. They got to protect themselves from lawsuits, obviously YouTube as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if she can get back on there. I know Miro and I think had something going on because Lana was in a bikini or something like that, was against their rules as well. But it'll be interesting to see if she can get back on. And $45,000 a month, man, that's huge. Previously unreported incident responsible for Velveteen Dreams released. Normally, I go on Web as Jericho maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months, but there was a lot of news on his website. Came out last night and this morning. And this is the third one of it. So this is courtesy of webisjericho.com as well. Last week, Patrick Clark, who wrestles as Velveteen Dream, was released by WWE with the belief that it was related to serious accusations previously made against him. While he denied the claims and WWE investigated and cleared him, his name was tarnished, and anytime he performed, fans on social media would bring up the allegations. Now, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it has been reported that the former NXT star's release was not related to this. Apparently, it was due to an incident that a top talent in the company informed management about. Specific details weren't provided, but it does seem that Clark was involved in more than his fair share of controversy, and the company decided he wasn't worth keeping on their roster. And the article continues there. So tough break for Patrick Clark. Interesting. I saw the article on Web is Jericho because Chris Jericho is one of those guys who said to him back in the day, hey, keep your chin up, keep your head up. You're going to be a huge star one day. And all of a sudden he's been released, and it's going to be interesting to see if he ends up anywhere. Obviously Enzo Amore, I think about him when I think about the news of Patrick Clark, Velveteen Dream. Obviously, he won't be able to keep the name, so he'll be something completely different. But it'd be interesting to see if any company out there picks him up. The same way with regards, like I was talking about Enzo, and we did a podcast, I think, back in when the news broke, and that would have been, a long time ago. I was doing a podcast, a separate podcast, and we talked about that. And the guys who I was on the panel with, the guys who I was on the show with that night, said there's no way in the world anybody's going to touch Enzo. So I think the same thing might be said right now with regards to Patrick Clark. It is what it is, and it's tough, but there's other avenues, I guess, and I'll leave it at that. Dominion in Osaka Joe Hall postponed to June 7th. With this new setup, I got to try to put, I don't know what the official name of it, but it's, I've got the Blue Yeti microphone here, and, I'm trying to do this as I'm not even, there we go. I got myself on screen so I can actually see, but you got the microphone here. There's this little metal cable thing that comes out, and there's like this big round buffer. I've got one, and I've got to try it because when I say you can hear it, and I apologize for that. There is just, I can hear it every now and then, and next thing you know, I start focusing on it. But the long story short is I got to try that in my next episode, not necessarily the prediction show, but I will try it for 42, episode 42 of CWN Weekly, and see if it makes a difference. I'm big on audio, not as much as I'm not as picky as I used to be, but I am getting better there. But now I completely forgot where. Dominion. So there we go. Old age kicking in once again. So it's going to bring up the article here. This is courtesy of New Japan's official website. So NJPW1972.com. So like I said, Dominion in Osaka Joe Hall postponed to June 7th. See, it's that word postponed, the P word. It's the as soon as you say postpone, it bounces back at me from the mic. Anyways, as a result of the extension of the state of emergency in place in Osaka and in compliance with restrictions on weekend events in the city, New Japan Pro Wrestling has arrived at the decision to postpone Dominion in Osaka Joe Hall, which was originally scheduled for Sunday, June 6th. The event will now take place on Monday, June 7th. It says doors open 5 p.m. Japan time, 6 p.m. Japan time. And it goes, and the article continues there, but they're being safe, and they have to be safe. And the bigger news with regards to that is this, and I got to see if I have the article, and I should. So to follow up, and this was released this morning courtesy of New Japan Pro Wrestling, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship headlines 3 key matches at Dominion June 7th. So Dominion Osaka Joe Hall will be seeing a slight postponement as the June 6th event will take place on June 7th, so only a day. Nonetheless, this is a big Monday night of action you do not want to miss, with 2 championship matches and a big-time singles bout already made. So the matches are as follows. So the main event in Dominion will see the 3rd IWGP World Heavyweight Champion crowned. I'm going to turn down the volume on the headphones a little bit. As Shingo Takagi takes on Kazuchika Okada. Okada had originally intended to be in Dominion's main event as IWGP World Heavyweight Champion already. His title match with Will Ospreay set for May 29th at Wrestle Grand Slam being the source of a lot of deserved hype. Yet the Tokyo Dome card was postponed. And then Ospreay relinquished the title entirely, citing injuries sustained in his bout on May 4th Dante 2 card. So anyways, main event, huge main event there. And if you've listened to me on this show, I can't see Shingo taking the title. Okada, he's Ric Flair. He's Hulk Hogan. He is, any major champion. He makes that brand look good when he's champion. Okada is that guy. Shingo, it's going to be interesting there to see if Shingo, if they pull the trigger on Shingo, it's going to be interesting to see how they play it out, where it goes. Obviously, the history chaos with regards to LIJ, the history between Naito and Okada, and now all of a sudden you got Shingo Takagi and Okada. It's going to be interesting, and I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on Shingo. But if they do, it's New Japan just got a lot more interesting. I'll tell you that much there. We also got on the card, we've got Jeff Cobb taking on Kota Ibushi, so that's been announced as well. And then we've got El Desperado, as long as he's healthy, taking on Yo for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. So that is taking place, like I said, guys, for Dominion in Osaka Joe Hall on Monday, June 7th, and not the 6th as originally scheduled there. Almost towards the end of the news, guys, and then obviously I'll get into independent wrestling, of course, but where are we here? Clip recent, the latest by Ethan Page. Ethan Page, Disney World, Epcot, Cheat Day Vlog, Flower and Garden Festival. That is on YouTube right now, so guys, check that out. And this was big news, and I almost put it at the beginning of the show, but everything this week has been just as important. But this here, and I'm glad this, in the famous words of Chris Jericho, ass clown, got his ass handed to him, so to speak. So AEW Spanish language announcer fired after mocking Asian accent. There is no place or time, I tell you this, in 2021 for this to be happening, but I couldn't believe it. I haven't listened to the audio yet, but I heard the news very early this morning, and all of a sudden I saw this right before I went on the air, courtesy F4WOnline.com. AEW Spanish language announcer Willie Urbina has been fired following his mocking of Hikaru Shida's accent during Friday's live Dynamite caught on a live mic. Dave Meltzer reported the release on Twitter. No other details available at this time. The audio could be heard during a commercial break on Fight.tv's broadcast for international viewers prior to the segment celebrating the AEW Women's Champion one-year reign as title holder. Urbina, Alex Abrahantes, Thunder Rosa, and Dasha Corrette's mics were left on during the break when Abrahantes instructed Urbina to do Shida as in translate her promo. Urbina then twice did a stereotypical imitation of an Asian accent, followed by Rosa and Corrette jokingly telling Urbina to stop. The clip gained steam overnight thanks to a tweeted clip of the audio directed at both AEW and Tony Khan. As of now, neither AEW, the announce team, or Shida has commented publicly about the incident. AEW's Double or Nothing Fan Fest begins at noon time, so possibly some kind of comment during the day. So of all the weekends for something like this to take place, it's AEW Double or Nothing weekend. And like I said, the guy's an ass clown. He deserved to be fired. I'm glad he was fired less than 24 hours after it happened, but there's no time or place for that kind of crap to be taking place in 2021. I tell you that much there. So good riddance to this guy. I hope nobody else hires him. Upcoming schedule for the week that I've seen. So Biography taking place tomorrow, Mick Foley, 8 p.m. on A&E. Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions, The Godfather, taking place tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. as well on WB Network, as well as Peacock. WB's Most Wanted Treasures, Jake the Snake Roberts, tomorrow at 10 p.m. on A&E. Too many A's. But guys, check that out as well. Raw preview for Monday. Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston set for high stakes Raw Showdown. A-lister welcomes Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair to Miz TV. And then Shayna Baszler to take out her first frustrations in a one-on-one match against Reginald Monday at 8 p.m. on Sportsnet 360 here in Canada. And I was talking last week about Shayna and going on a singles run. And I hope she destroys this guy. And we see her as champion there in WB sometime soon. And then Dark Side of the Ring Season 3 taking place on Crave, 9 p.m. on Thursday. Featuring Grizzly Smith, Jake Roberts, Rockin' Robin, as well as Sam Houston. So that takes place, like I said, Thursday on Crave. Highlights this week for SmackDown, quickly here. Usos defeat Street Profits, and Natalya and Tamina defeat the Riot Squad. Bianca Belair defeats Carmella. Seth Rollins on his 35th birthday did promo to provide a medical update on Cesaro. Kevin Owens defeats Apollo Crews by DQ. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Chad Gable. And then Dominic Mysterio defeats Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode in a handicap match. And still, they had played up that Ray was hurt before the match. So Dominic went on his own. I believe Ray came out last night to his music, distracted Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode ended up getting pinned by Dominic. So that's the way that played out. 205 Live, Asher Hale defeats Tony Nese. Ari Sterling defeats Aria Davare. AEW Friday Night Dynamite, we had Darby Allin defeats Cesar Bononi. Cody Rhodes and Anthony Ogogo, hosted by Paul White. They did the weigh-in there. Christian Cage's Powerhouse Hobbs backstage promo took place. They got into it, a feud there. Adam Page defeats Joey Janela. Orange Cassidy, Pac, and Kenny Omega in-ring promo. Jade Cargill defeated Killian King in an open challenge. Miro defeats Dante Martin. And still, Hikaru Shida honored new women's championship belt, by the way. And then it's similar to the old one. I think it's an exact replica, just bigger, but it looks a lot better. And there was a picture, I think, on Instagram, obviously on the show itself as well, but there's a picture on Instagram of Shida holding both belts, and you can see the size difference between the two. But to me, props to AEW, because the other one just looked way too small. Britt Baker interrupted that promo there. Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page defeats Dark Order, Uso, and Grayson. Darby Allin and Sting come out post match, and there's a Sting army, so to speak, and so they're playing into the pay-per-view tomorrow. Inner Circle's best moments, hosted by Eric Bischoff, interrupted by MJF. Dean Malenko got beat down. Inner Circle beat down by the Pinnacle. And then it says, be sure to catch AEW Dynamite next week on a special night and time on TNT live on Friday, June 4th at 10 p.m., which happens to be my toddler's birthday. Yes, we are 2 days apart, me and my daughter, Emma. And she's starting to get interested in wrestling when she sees it on TV. But I tell you this, 10 o'clock, I wish you could stay awake for some of this stuff. But I told my wife, and she's actually good with it. I told her, when she's old enough, I'm going to take her to events. And my wife didn't seem to have an issue with that. My wife's been to one live WB event and one live independent show. And, she's not going to go and look to buy tickets. But I'm glad she told me that my toddler is going to be welcome to go to these events with me. So I'm excited. But anyways, June 4th, yes, another Friday Night Dynamite by AEW there. New Japan Strong this week. Clark Connors defeats AJZ. Zed, El Fantasmo defeats Wheeler Yuta and in the main event, New Japan Strong Openweight Championship match, Filthy Tom Lawler defeats Chris Dickinson to retain. Ratings this week for what has been announced. We got NXT 698, 0.13 and 18 to 49 demo. So they're not doing themselves any favors on Tuesdays either. And I think it was AEW last night. It might have been Tony Khan saying that they basically kicked the crap out of. Oh no, it was Cody. It was Cody and the media thing, talking about how NXT had to move nights because they were failing. But the ratings still aren't going up on Tuesdays either. But of course, basketball season, hockey, and everything else. But anyways, that being said, one more thing before we go to Indy, and I need a drink and a rest. But and when I say drink, I need water. I'm not going to drink on the show unless it's St. Patty's Day. But MMA Pro Boxing, DCN Helwani, May 24th, ESPN MMA. That was released on Monday of last week. So guys, check that out. Ariel Helwani is one of those guys who is always going to say what's on his mind, but he's Canadian as well. I think he's a Habs fan, but that's probably the only thing that's wrong with him. And then one full blast that was on the 28th. So yesterday, courtesy of One Championship, and that is up on CWNonline.ca as well as YouTube there. So going into Canadian Independent Wrestling, as I always do, I take a small break here, and I'm going to do the promo once again by George Mackay. Hence the fact I've been swearing a little bit, but not too much. I think I said the word ass and whatever the case may be. But I try to keep it PG. I try to keep it clean. I don't like seeing that E logo next to anything I do. But the fact is, when it comes down to it, it's swear. See, I'm rambling, but I looked at the clock and I'm later than I normally am. But I've got some Canadian Independent Wrestling to talk about. So I'm going to play the promo with the one and only George Mackay of Straight Talk Wrestling. Get a drink, relax just for a minute or so, and then I will be back to talk independent wrestling here in Canada. So guys, enjoy.
You ever been underestimated? I have. You ever been ghosted? I have. You ever look and wonder how come it's not working? I have. Doubt, anxiety, stress. It's a motherfucker. But then you sit down and you have a conversation, life-changing. The fire reignites. It starts all over again. The fuel, the hunger, the passion, the drive. I got it all. Me? I'll sleep when I'm dead. This is everything. This is what I want. No more waiting, no more asking, no more hoping. Kick the door in. Make them see you. Make them recognize. So when it comes to me, I'm going to show you, whether you want to see it or not. So go ahead. Underestimate me. Doubt me. Hate me. I'm never gonna stop. Here, there is no off season. I never heard of it. And when it comes down to me, when all the smoke clears and I'm standing at the top, looking down at what I built, that's when I stop. Soak it in for a minute, but then realize there's 50,000 more right behind me. Go ahead. Underestimate me. I live for that shit.
So there you go, guys. The promo by the one and only George Mackay, Straight Talk Wrestling. He is absolutely killing it, and I've got some more news about him coming up. But as always, we talked about hashtag WeAreCIW. Type that into any social media, and you'll find out what hashtag WeAreCIW means. But simply put, we are Canadian Independent Wrestling. We are Canadian Independent Wrestling as a hashtag was kind of long. So when I created it, just simply smaller and to the point. So hashtag WeAreCIW. Anyways, like I said, I am rambling. But CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca forwards you to the Facebook group, and 460 strong. Keep it clean, but promote, as I always say. And your gimmick, your podcast, any social media channels that you have out there. If you're a promotion, do that as well. But it's all about letting Canadian wrestling fans know where the content is and out there, and promote your merch as well. And speaking of merch, I'll get into that a little bit more at the end of the show here. But Steven's Heart for Chiari Malformation, you can see the website address on the screen there. When I'm talking about merch, talking about Pro Wrestling Tees, he's got his own store now, so guys, go and check that out. But I will have a little more news at the very end of the show, like I said. But fundraise.sickkidsfoundation.com/Stevens Hearts. Hashtag Steven Strong is the hashtag I use with regards to anything with regards to Steven Spice, of course. But right now, if you go to that site that I just told you about, raised $5,600 so far, of a goal of $25,000 initially, and then $50,000 at the very end there. So guys, he is looking to create basically research at the Sick Kids Foundation there in Toronto, and that is his original goal is $25,000 to $50,000, and then he's raised $5,600 so far for it. So great for him, congrats to him. But guys, if you have the ability to donate. Like I said, fundraise.sickkidsfoundation.com/Stevens Hearts, and then like I said, the hashtag I use on social media with regards to Steven is hashtag Steven Strong. But Steven Spice, he's absolutely killing it this week, as well as George Mackay, Straight Talk Wrestling. I mean, they're both doing absolutely phenomenal as far as the content that they put out there. And I'm just going to put up the hashtags for hashtag WeAreCIW once again, because it relates to everything I'm just about to talk about. So YouTube this week, I'm not doing my usual focus on everything, but I'll do my focus on these two guys. So Steven Spice as well as George Mackay, because they are part of the Canadian Wrestling Network as well. But George had an exclusive interview with Gia Miller from Impact Wrestling on the 25th. So guys, check that out. This is all YouTube content, so it'll be up on CWNonline.ca if it not already is, like I said, YouTube as well. And then so that was on the 25th. George interviewed Gia Miller. On the 26th, SWJ, Steven gets to know WB the Bump star Matt Camp. Followed up by SWJ getting to know WB superstar Natalia on the 27th. The 27th as well, Vidcast 44 featuring Mike Bennett. That's George Mackay, Straight Talk Wrestling again. SWJ Turnbuckle Talk with Steven Spice and WB the Bump co-host Matt Camp. So another one with him on the 28th. Followed by another one on the 28th, SWJ Turnbuckle Talk with Steven Spice and WWE champion Natalia on the 28th as well. And the bigger news with regards to George Mackay is this: Vidcast 55. Okay, why is 55 huge? Because he's celebrating 200 episodes as a whole. When I got to talk to the guy in the first CWN interview I did, I said, with regards to your episodes and how many do you have? And all of a sudden he was like, 200. It's going to be. I think he listed off the date. I got to go back and listen to it because I want to see how close he was to the date because he did it at the top of his head. But long story short, Vidcast 55, celebrating 200, George Mackay, Straight Talk Wrestling, Thursday, June 3rd, 6 o'clock p.m. on YouTube. And that is his 200th episode as a host, as a podcaster. So guys, hit like and subscribe, celebrate with him that day on social media. He's on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. He's all over the place. But George is a great guy, great family as well. He's got the mini host, which is his daughter, doing content as well. But yeah, guys, definitely check that out. Vidcast 55, celebrating 200, George Mackay, Straight Talk Wrestling, Thursday, June 3rd, 6 o'clock p.m. on YouTube. And that will be part of the Canadian Wrestling Network's YouTube site, so to speak, as well. But you'll see it up on CWNonline.ca as well. Speaking of CWNonline.ca, and speaking of stuff that you should be watching or listening or reading, Slugging with Stephen O'Neill featuring the Cuban sensation Elian Habanero. That was released on the 25th, this past Tuesday. So guys, check that out. Steven's got his own exclusive series there. A lot of good interviews, some interesting names as well. But this past week on Tuesday, like I said, Slugging with Stephen O'Neill featuring the Cuban sensation Elian Habanero, that took place on the 25th. And like I said, CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca forwards you to the group on Facebook. Like I said, just keep it clean, but promote. Speaking of promoting, CanadianWrestlingNetwork.ca. You can see the social media there. Email is simply network@cwnonline.ca. And then our tag, our slogan, so to speak, One Nation, One Network, Canuck Proud, which I'm very proud of. But guys, check it out. Canadian Wrestling Network. If you want to, be part of the network for free, everybody who's part of the network right now is Canadian. You can see by going to the bio, so to speak, where everybody is from. But if you want to be part of the network for free, it basically all you do is sign up. You have your own content. So with regards to you do interviews, you have a podcast, you have a website, you're a talent, you're a promoter, you're a promotion. Let me know. So network@cwnonline.ca. And be part of the network for free. And we're up there. I think we finally, I shouldn't say we finally, but we did hit 200 on Instagram as far as followers go. But it's my way to say, hey, look, we're Canadian. Hey, look, we have content. Pay attention to us. And once you are officially part of the network, that's all I do is promote with regards to, your content on the website itself and then social media. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And, I'm very proud of it and very proud of the members as well. But like I said, CanadianWrestlingNetwork.ca is the best way to, to check that out there. And like I said, sign up for free if you're a podcaster or promoter, interviewer, whatever the case may be there. And I'm at the end of the show. Kind of went quick, but I do a lot of talking, and I talk quick. So anyways, rambling. So for us, CWN predicts AEW Double or Nothing tomorrow at 3 p.m. Will not be live. If I'm doing it from work, they will kill me. I'm not sure if they actually kill me. Maybe I actually get well, there's no audience right now, but anyways, CWN predicts AEW Double or Nothing 2021 tomorrow at 3 p.m. premiering on Facebook as well as YouTube. CWN recap AEW Double or Nothing 2021 Monday, May 31st. So Monday, 2 days away. To be determined as far as the time goes, but that'll be another premiere on Facebook and YouTube. And then probably for the first time, I think, ever and with regards to us here, I'm just going to do this because I'm almost a Canadian Wrestling Network again. first time in CWN Weekly history, so to speak. I don't have a specific date lined up for episode number 42. Reason for it, I am back at work full time, of course. Like I previously mentioned on, I think, last week's show, whatever the case may be. My birthday's coming up on Wednesday. My daughter's birthday is coming up on Friday. We have plans all weekend long as a family, and it's getting it in there. So to me right now, like I said, because my wife's a teacher, my daughter's in daycare, and my two teenage daughters are doing school. I may actually do this on my birthday. I may actually do episode number 42 on Wednesday. We'll have to wait and see, though. It's just a matter of how much is planned. You can't really do anything. It's not like you can go to a mall. It's not like I can tell my wife, hey, don't teach today, but anyways, I might do it on Wednesday. If I don't do it on Wednesday, I don't necessarily, right off the top of my head, I don't know my schedule for Thursday. Friday is definitely out on my daughter's birthday. I don't like doing nighttime shows anymore. I used to do it quite a bit, but I like to enjoy my nights. So I like to go in, especially with wrestling on TV 5 nights a week. Plus you get your pay-per-view weekends, everything else. But like I said, episode 42 will take place, but it is up in the air when it will take place. But when it does, you will see it announced on cwnonline.ca as well as on social media. Speaking of social media, check out CWN Weekly specifically on social media. So whether it be YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz, definitely check out CWN Weekly. Like, subscribe. Let me know you're listening to the show specifically there. From there, last little bit, and this is what I was talking about just a couple moments ago. CWN's on Pro Wrestling Tees, of course. So prowrestlingtees.com/CWN online. And the big news is this. So hopefully within the next 24 hours, I'm just waiting on the boss to make a decision. And when I say boss, I'm talking about Steven Spice. So there are 3 new t-shirts being set up on Pro Wrestling Tees. With regards to Canada Day. So they're going to be up for an entire month. Alongside that, because right now I have the ability to put 4 shirts at a time up, there's going to be 3 shirts dedicated to Canada Day, as well as 1 dedicated to Steven Spice himself with the hashtag Steven Strong. There's 2 designs, and I'm just waiting for in Steven's colors. So the color of the logo itself, so the hashtag is purple with regards to Chiari Malformation. The hashtag Steven Strong is with regards to, obviously, the hashtag Steven Strong. And then the color of the shirt, the light blue shirt, is Steven's favorite color. Its favorite color is blue. And when I asked his mom, dark or light, Steven said light. So that's the reasoning behind the look of the shirt. So it'll be a light blue shirt, purple graphics. And I'm just waiting for Steven to make a decision on the 2 shirts, which one he likes the best. Once that happens, you'll see the change up as far as Pro Wrestling Tees goes. And then you'll have all 4 shirts on there. With regards to the whole month leading into Canada Day. In saying that, and I've said it before in the show, with regards to any kind of profits that are made off of those shirts, 100%, whether it be the Canada Day ones or whether it be Steven's shirt itself, 100% of the proceeds, 100% of the profits are going to Steven Spice to put towards his Steven's Heart for Chiari Malformation, his fundraising goal of $25,000, of course. So every little bit helps. And this is my way of saying, hey, this is what I want to do, how I want to contribute, as a CWN, so to speak. Personally, I'll do my own thing as well. But, any money profits made in the entire month are all going to go to Steven's Hearts for Chiari Malformation, his fundraiser there. So guys, check it out. You'll see it launched on cwnonline.ca when it does happen, as well as social media. But the shirts are pretty cool. The Canada Day ones are cool. And like I said, I'm just waiting for the bosses, Steven's decision on which shirt he likes best. And then you'll see it up there on prowrestlingtees.com/CWN online. So guys, that has been it for episode number 41 of CWN Weekly. If you watched or listened, thank you very much. As always, hit me back, feedback at cwnonline.ca or Chris at cwnonline.ca, and let me know what you like, what you enjoy, what you want to see me talk about, any interviews you want me to see get lined up. And like I always say, I do this because I enjoy it. And, I love doing this, and I love talking about wrestling, as most of every wrestling fan out there does. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. Anyways, one more show to do today, which will premiere, like I said, tomorrow, and that'll be CWN Predicts AEW Double or Nothing 2021, premiering tomorrow at 3. And like I said, episode number 42. Look for it and watch for it, because I have no idea when it's going to launch, what day I'm going to do it, but I will make it happen. And that is a promise right there. So guys, thanks for watching and listening as always. And as I always say, we'll talk again sometime soon.